I'm Intruder Green. You might know me from things like On Tour with Direct Hit and the Young Rochelle's, Milwaukee County Jail, and Plenty of Fish. Welcome to the Intruder Green podcast. We got a special episode today. It's not really a bonus episode because it's like I want to do more things where we're doing it all the time. So this is a special one where I'm going to answer a phone call I got, and I'm going to get some more of those types of episodes coming out here soon. So, Patreons, Luke Ellis, Elizabeth Bernards, Ayla Ree, Heather Royston, John Nicholas, James Michael, Lamar Irvin, Edward Donald, Calvin McGolder Roland. I don't know. We also got Vaughn Cotton, Chelsea McNally, Jared Estep, Carlos Hernandez, and Chris the Antihero. We're out on the road with, at this point, we're actually in Vancouver. We stayed a night here. We just met up with the Bomb Pops, and we just left off with Potty Mouth, who we really didn't know them at all before this tour started, and they're great ladies. We really enjoyed playing some shows with them. I hope you can go check them out. And it's weird to be at this point of the tour because we were doing this for a while, and it just felt like, it was just the beginning, and then you get halfway through, and suddenly you're like, wow, we're halfway through. And now it's like we're getting to the end, and it's like, shit, that just flew by. Even though it really didn't fly by. Like, the first couple of weeks, I was like, this is going to be a long tour. But it's okay, we're here. It's finally getting cool out. Like, first when we started, it was in, our first show was in Columbus, Ohio, I think. And then, so that was like still warm out and everything. And then we went down south and it got real fucking warm. And then we went in the desert and it got even fucking warmer and hotter. And we played the hottest show ever in Mesa, Arizona. And it sucked. Like, it was a fun show because the crowd was real into it and had a real good time. But holy shit, we all felt like we were going to die. I'll be honest with you. It was real fucked up. But we made it through it and drank a bunch of beer and water, and that made us feel better in the end. So we got through that, and then we got to the West Coast, which, everybody loves West Coast. Fucking fish tacos and, sunshine and free fucking marijuana stuff. Well, not free, but like, it's like freedom to smoke marijuana, I guess you could say that. Which, everybody loves that. And we're heading up the West Coast now, and it's real good. We're about to meet up with friends Tightwire for the last stretch of the tour, and that's going to be real fun. I gotta say, every band that we play with on this tour, and there's been a lot of them, even a couple times we had a local opener. We just played with Decent Criminal, and we played with them once or twice before. And that was real good. Good to play with those guys again and see them again. They're doing real good. I think they're going to Europe. Got to do a little podcast action with them, so you'll get to hear that in one of these days when I get some more time to do editing. Also, thanks everybody for hanging in there. I know that I haven't been getting these episodes out nearly as fast as I wanted to. I'm hoping to start getting them out faster, but it's tough. Like, I got limited time available to do these things, but I'm definitely getting some stuff done for you that'll be available in the near future. So without further ado, on with the show.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Intruder Green,
an inmate at Federal Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept charges, press 1.
Unlocking go, body What's up, Intruder Green? This is Ray from Detroit. So I had a couple questions for you. Wondering, if you were on a desert island for 3 years and you could only take one movie trilogy and 3 albums with you, what would that one movie and 3 albums be? So yeah, that's what I was wondering. I'm taking War Profiteering is Killing Us All, the Suicide Machine. I decided that that's definitely one I got to take. I'm taking Rancid, Out Come the Wolves, and Operation Ivy. That's it. And movies, I'm taking Star Wars because I'm a big fan of Star Wars and the original Star Wars, not like the shit they came out with in the 90s. That stuff wasn't very good. Even though Darth Maul was kind of cool. Like, I did like Darth Maul, but I'm not going to take, like, a whole movie trilogy just off of one cool character. So I'm going the original Star Wars. That's all, man. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Intruder Green podcast. By now you probably heard about our sponsor, Stupid Rad Merch Company. And if you haven't, then listen up, because I gotta tell you, Stupid Rad Merch Company is a great web store with a bunch of your favorite bands at stupidradmerch.com. And if you're in a band and need some work done, they can get you totally covered for a modest price and super quick turnaround time. But don't just take it from me. Here's what the ladies from Bad Cop had to say about it.
Yeah, comes up with great ideas. It's always pushing, always moving.
Simeon is delightful to work with. He's very responsive and professional, and
It's the quality of the shirts. I like them.
yeah, high quality.
Very well done. Very well done on the ink. It
really
feels
does.
like a family again. It feels like it's a place where you can trust what's happening.
And don't forget to use the code PRISON at checkout and get a 15% discount on all Stupid Rad branded apparel. That's PRISON, I think. I don't really know how to spell, but those are the letters they told me to say. StupidRadMerch.com.
StupidRadMerch.com.
So the question is, what movie trilogy would I take to a desert island and the albums? And well, I don't know, like, it's like, first of all, you mean a desert island? Like a desert? Like there's no water on an island, you're just in the middle of the ocean? Because that makes things harder. If you meant a deserted island, that would be like one thing, but a desert island, man, I don't know. I wouldn't be thinking too much about movies and records and stuff, because you're not going to have a chance to play that stuff anyway. I guess you wouldn't on a desert island or a deserted island anyway either, unless you figured a way out to like make a TV and stuff with like sticks and rocks and stuff like that. I think if you figured out a way to live, on an island, whether it's a desert island or just a deserted island, you could probably like a sustainable way to do it. You could probably like live long enough that you could like figure it out, make a fucking TV or something, because you're a genius. And but it would definitely be more difficult on a desert island, because then you just got like rocks and sand and whatever washes up on shore, which could be some cool stuff. Maybe another plane crashes and then you just get a whole bunch of cool stuff, like on that show Lost. It's like everybody was fighting over stuff, but it was like, well, maybe just like be cool. Fucking figure out like what cool stuff you can make with it, and then you wouldn't have such a problem when the other people from the island come find you and they start capturing your kids and stuff. You stupid dummies. All right. Well, anyway, back to the question. I guess it don't matter like how you make it work. You just got to make it work, right? So like, when it comes to movies, I don't know. You said movie trilogy, which makes it even more difficult. That really narrows it down. I do like, your idea about the Star Wars. That's a good ass movie trilogy. The first 3, the original 3, rather. I agree. Like, I like the way you put it. That the whatever. The prequels just weren't very good. A lot of people are like, "Oh, those movies suck," and I don't think they suck because it's like I had a good time watching them. You know, like there's some fun adventuristic stuff in here. And you know, the only real shitty part about those movies is that they explain the Force. That's so fucking stupid. Like, you got this whole thing going on where like the Force is so mysterious and everything, and then you go ahead and explain it. It's kind of like when they tried to do the fucking Wolverine Origins movies, or at least the one. You know, maybe the second one was a little better, but I don't know. It still kind of was not very good either. But it's like they just try to fucking explain everything. And that sucks. Like, you want to have some mystery there. That's what's exciting about things. Like, I think Dave Nobody was saying it real good in the van the other day, where he was like, yeah, I don't need to know what fucking, fucking Jason, from this horror movies with the ski mask and stuff, like where he comes from and why he's so violent. Like, we know why he's violent. It's fucking, he died and some teenagers suck, so he's got to kill him. And that's fun. You know, you don't need to like be like, oh, he had this traumatic upbringing and stuff like that. Actually, I think he was talking about Leatherface. That's the one. Yeah. It's more fun if Leatherface is just some fucking creepy weirdo out in the middle of nowhere and you're stuck fucking having to deal with him trying to cut your head off with a chainsaw. Yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah, these movies where they try to explain everything just kind of fucking suck. I mean, well, no, back to the thing. I don't want to say they suck, because those Star Wars movies, like I said, there's some fun adventurous stuff to have in there. And I enjoy watching them. I definitely don't revisit them the same way I do the original three. But, it is what it is. It's fine. They're fine. But yeah, a fucking trilogy. So, like, I guess the idea is this is a trilogy that it's like the only thing I could watch for the rest of my life. And, like, my only source of entertainment. Although I think I would be able to find other ways to entertain myself on it. Even a desert island. Like, playing with rocks and sticks and stuff. Or, maybe making a game. I don't know. Are there other people on the island? That's important too. Like, do I have somebody to watch these movies with? And is it VHS tape that these movies are on? Because that could be useful. As much as Dave, nobody, again, doesn't want to hear this, you could take those VHS tapes apart and, like, use them for, like, tying stuff together and stuff like that. But if it's like a laser disc, I don't know. Maybe you can, like, use the sun to reflect and try to do a SOS kind of thing. If it's a DVD or a Blu-ray, yeah, you're not going to do much with those. So I guess you would just probably want to watch stuff on them. But let me see here. So, trilogies. Some of my favorite trilogies. Star Wars is definitely up there. What else? You got, like, where you got a Jurassic Park trilogy. They're making more of those movies too. I ain't seen the new ones, but I heard they're pretty good. If you like that sort of thing, which I do. So I might have to see them. But, there was like a kind of a Jurassic Park trilogy, right? And I don't think I really liked the second movie so much. The first one was great, and the third one was okay. So that's maybe an option. What else we got? Like the Matrix trilogy. Yeah, didn't like the second two. I gotta say, everybody's like, oh, it's such good sci-fi, and I'm like, yeah, but they just kind of like, it just didn't seem after the first one like it mattered as much. It was just like getting all convoluted and stuff, which, fair enough. Like, that's what kind of happens in sci-fi stories and everything. I wish that I could just say, like, some kind of, like, Marvel movie trilogy, but, like, I don't know. It's hard to decide on a specific trilogy with that, because it's also, connected, that you want to just use a bunch of different, you want to, like, what do they call that? Cherry picking. Yeah, that's it. You want to, like, pick a few different movies, and it's hard to pick, like, any one. So, I don't know. That's a tough one, too. I guess going back to, like, George Lucas stuff, the original Indiana Jones movies were pretty fucking great. I could watch those a lot, and that would be nice. So maybe those are, like, pretty far up there. Yeah. And it's adventurous too. I feel like if I'm on an island, I would want maybe like a sense of adventure to keep me going. So that could be like Indiana Jones is good for that. Yeah. I think that's might be the best choice. Also, maybe like a runner-up, I would choose the Godfather trilogy, which would probably be like more of my a better choice. But the problem with that, I think it would like remind me so much about like being in civilization and stuff, and make me real sad because I didn't get to be there. Also, I was never real good at like organized crime. You know, like the mafia is organized. They got their shit together, and I was never too good at that. So like I failed when I was in society, and now I'm on a desert island, and I don't get another chance to like try to be more organized with crime. Just was real bad at it for a while, and then ended up on a desert island. So it might, yeah, you know, that there's all sorts of like, you know, bad stuff in those Godfather movies that would probably just bum me out. Even though that's probably one of my favorite trilogies, I probably wouldn't want to bring it with me to the you know, island. I guess I would say, you know, Indiana Jones wins for me. You know, they got that rustic sense of adventure. You know, I know there was a fourth one made, but fuck that movie. That was basically like fan fiction at that point. Oh, shit. Honorable mention, the Die Hard trilogy. Shit, I might have to change my mind to that one because, you know, greatest action movie of all time, Die Hard 1. The third one was really fucking great too. And the second one was like, okay, I guess, but you know, it was still Bruce Willis, so that's cool. But yeah, I guess, you know, I wish I could cherry pick all of these, you know, like make my own trilogy where it's like Die Hard 1 and Empire Strikes Back, and then maybe like Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was probably my favorite Indiana Jones movie. Although they're all really good. I don't know. It's really tough. This is a really hard question. Let me move on to the one about the albums. You give me 3 albums to choose. And again, I don't know how I'm supposed to be listening to these things. If it's a CD, a cassette tape, which is like, I would have no problem destroying a cassette tape to like make, you know, tie it around a stick with a rock for like some kind of weapon or like a toothbrush or something. That would be fine with me because fucking cassette tapes always sucked. It's the worst fucking way to listen to music. But, you know, like, if I had to choose, or maybe it's a record, and then you could probably figure out a way to listen to a record because that's like real. You don't need like digital technology stuff to do to listen to that. But, you know, you get a little bamboo stick and connect it to like a seashell, and maybe it goes down to like, maybe you can find a sea urchin spike and you put that on there and it just reverberates into the seashell, and that's how you make your you know, your listening device for the record. It could work. I believe it to be true. But what would I bring? That's so difficult to figure out. But I guess if I'm on an island, I would want to bring some like island music. Like, my favorite surf band, the Reigning Monarchs. That's real good stuff. It's also almost kind of like cinematic, so you have another sense of adventure kind of situation. If you got it going good, and you had to like climb a mountain to like, I don't know, fucking find some bird eggs or something that you needed to live, you could like put that on full blast while you're doing it and feel like real cool while you're up in the mountain. Yeah, and maybe some like going with that theme, maybe like a Beethoven record, because that's real good stuff too. It's real epic, you know, classical music. But you know, I don't want to go too far off the with the you know, punk rock. I know people probably want me to point out some good punk rock bands. And so I will. I guess if I had to bring like a punk rock album, it would be like, I don't know, like maybe some Green Day probably. Yeah, like Green Day Dookie. That's a real good one. It's a classic, and I still like listening to it. So I'll go with that. And yeah. So that's it for the Intruder Green podcast. If you want to get a hold of me, you can always do the call-in line at 608-535-9608. You can hit me up on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. Please do. You know, like I'm always posting stuff on an Instagram, especially. That's because there's lots of cool pictures and stuff. And I like to do jump kicks live, and I like it when people take pictures of them. So you know, check that out. I'll try to put some more like personable stuff too, because I know people like that when you do like, hey, here's me eating a hot dog on Instagram, and somehow like people like pictures of that more than me like playing guitar and like almost falling off the stage or some shit. So anyway, hit me up there. Hit me up. You can get on the Patreon and help me make this show by going to patreon.com/Intruder Green. The Intruder Green podcast is produced by Colin Bennett, hair and makeup by Genevieve Smith, set design by Dylan Raymer, catering Matthew Hendershot, lighting by Squeak Lights, Rahway, New Jersey. Our theme song is Particles by Pipe Bros. I don't want to be a werewolf in disguise.
Woo!